Hello to everyone in the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral community and all of our friends. This is Father Jonathan. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to continue our series on the lives of the saints, and on this, the 15th of February, we commemorate the memory of the Venerable Father Anthimos of Chios. Father Anthimos was born in 1869 into a devout peasant family on the island of Chios. In several childhood visions of the Mother of God, he learned of the favor which in due season she would manifest towards him. He left elementary school early to take up the shoemender's trade. He was 19 when, one day, his mother gave him an old icon of the Mother of God of Good Help to take for restoration to the Monastery of the Holy Fathers on Mount Probation, recently founded by the holy monk Pachomios, the spiritual counselor of Saint Nektarios of Aegina. Anthimos was much taken with the heavenly life of the monks, and on returning to his village, he built himself a hut in an out-of-the-way spot. He was exact in fulfilling everything laid down for him by Father Pachomios, who, impressed by his obedience, silence, and zeal for prayer, said to his monks that young novice is already a mature monk, and he is destined to become an eminent father. The icon of the Mother of God, which he had always kept by him, was, from that time, his only help, his inspiration in contest, well-pleasing to God, and his consolation in trials and temptations. Miracles began to be wrought through the icon for the benefit of neighbors who visited his hermitage. In the end, he retired to the Monastery of the Holy Fathers, where he had received a little habit under the name Anthimos. Although moved by an increment of divine love and mortifying every desire of the flesh, he was ready and able to undertake the practical tasks of all kinds, and so he was put in charge of the building works and of the newly founded convent of St. Constantine. But he soon fell sick, and his abbot decided that he should return to his parents for the sake of his health. Anthimos continued his life of asceticism at home as though still at the monastery. He took up the shoemender's trade again and looked after his aged parents and gave alms to those in need. Despite poor health, and his love for God enabled him to accomplish great feats of asceticism to the unbridled rage of the demons. With a dreadful din, they would hurl themselves at him while he prayed by night, as was his habit, in the hollow trunk of an old olive tree near his cell. He gave himself no rest, not even for a minute, he said later, and thus, with the help of the Mother of God, he was able to spend 10 days and 19 nights awake in prayer, by taking nothing but a small amount of bread and water every 2 days. At the end of this feat, he was wrapped in ecstasy, and his spirit was carried up into paradise amid the angelic choir, while he repeated without cease, Kyrie eleison. More and more visitors came to his hermitage, attracted by his virtues and by the miracles wrought by the icon of the Mother of God. And the year after he received the great habit, it was decided, in response to the wishes of the people, to ask the Bishop of Chios to ordain him a priest, but the bishop refused, alleging the saint's lack of education. Anthimos was then invited to the diocese of Smyrna by his godfather. At that moment of his ordination, an earth tremor accompanied by lightning and claps of thunder testified to the divine favor, and shortly afterwards Father Anthimos freed a man of an unclean spirit. Since his virtues and miracles provoked the jealousy of certain priests, he had to leave the region, and after pilgrimage to Mount Athos, he returned to Chios, where he was appointed chaplain of a leper hospital. In a short time in this place, in which physical misery had given rise to spiritual corruption, it was transformed into an image of paradise where life was lived in community as in a monastery. He himself visited all the sick, tended to the worst afflicted with his own hands, and by his meekness and good counsel led them to turn to God, so that not a few became monks and nuns. Through his meditation, the divine loving kindness was also poured on the many faithful who came from outside to seek the man of God's intercession and counsel. 38 people who were freed from evil spirits through his fasts and his prayers before the icon of the Mother of God. The persecution of the Greek population of Asia Minor was ended in the Great Exile of 1922 through 24, brought many refugees to Chios, particularly nuns and girls who, without protection, would have been destitute. Ever since his youth, St. Anthimos had dreamt of founding a monastery on a certain steep, uninhabited site that he knew of. Now, encouraged by a vision of the Mother of God, he sought to make this dream a reality for the sake of the 40 or so young women who had gathered around him. In 1927, he received permission to found a monastery there and was confirmed by God after lots were drawn thrice at the end of the Divine Liturgy. The saint himself put up plans into effect, anticipating everything that would be necessary to the life of the great monastery. It was owing to his sweat, to his tears, and to his prayers that the building works were able to proceed, despite the opposition of some who regarded setting up such a community as useless and out of date. After only 2 years, the icon of the Mother of God of Good Help was solemnly transferred to the monastery church, which receiving the same name. St. Anthimos ordered the conventual life of the nuns, 30 at first, according to the principles of the Holy Fathers, and he lived there for the rest of his life. The community soon numbered 80 nuns and was regarded as the most exemplary religious house in Greece. But while he was the founder and spiritual father of the monastery, the saint did not cease to be the consoler and intercessor and spiritual father of the whole population of Chios. He would never leave a sick or penitent visitor without having comforted him, either with spiritual teachings or with medicinal herbs, but above all, with his prayers accompanied by tears before the icon of the Mother of God. Some days, 60 or 70 sick folk would present themselves at the monastery to ask for help of the saint and of the Mother of God. For more than 30 years, St. Anthimos carried on his ministry for the salvation of souls and for the relief of bodily ills. When he was too old to work with his hands, he retired to his cell and begged the Lord to enable him to serve his neighbor, whoever he might be, in whatever way, until his last breath. He gave up his soul on the 15th of February, 1960, at the age of 91, having entrusted his community with his final counsels. Full of divine wisdom and fatherly love, he was mourned by the whole island of Chios. He continued to remain present to the and to extend heavenly consolation and healing of different illnesses to Christians who have recourse to his intercession. By the prayers of Saint Anthimos of Chios, may the Lord God have mercy on us and save us. God bless you. We're here for you. We love you dearly. Don't hesitate to reach out, call us, email us, leave us a message in the comment section, send us a note on social media. If you'd like to support this ministry, do remember to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel or follow us on social media. Again, God bless you and have a beautiful rest of your day.